any religious or organizational scriptures or books, because to me, the priceless human body and the gift of time are most significant. No one else can give time the same value as I do, for most people act only for self-interest. Nature has blessed me from birth with clarity and understanding, and this itself is enough for me to comprehend my own eternal essence. Each individual capable of understanding their true self is inherently complete, capable, and excellent, needing no assistance, intervention, or instructions from others. Upon realizing one's permanent essence, the existence of a temporary complex intellect dissipates and can no longer resurface in its former state. When one aligns with their true self and lives in reality, they become eternally wise beyond anything a typical person could achieve, even over countless lives and eons. Such understanding is devoid of ego, pride, or arrogance because it arises purely from comprehension. Otherwise, the mind offers no means to overcome ego. Ego is fundamentally born from mental activities like resolutions, reflections, thoughts, and beliefs, even practices like devotion, charity, service, celibacy, and selflessness. Engaging in any of these tends to lead to pride and ego due to the biased nature of a complex mind, ultimately clouding one's innate purity. People treat temporary things and possessions as exclusively theirs and live their entire lives bound to them. Their waking state and dreams are centered around these attachments, leading to serious attachment, fixed thoughts, and deep-rooted beliefs. They may live to be 100 years old, but may never even consider, for a single moment, their eternal self or their own thoughts. These are tasks each person must do alone, which no one else can accomplish, yet most act out of self-interest. By following a guru and confining oneself to scriptural words without reasoning and evidence, people abandon their own discernment and remain bound as slaves, awaiting a false promise of liberation after death, never achieving it while alive. So far, there hasn't been anyone in the entire world who has reached true neutrality, understood themselves, and realized their eternal essence. Those who live in the support of the temporary and complex mind are merely surviving, just as other species do. If a person shares the same core attributes as another, there's no basis to claim superiority. If they possess any skill, talent, or education, it's something anyone can acquire. As for liberation, it is needed in life itself, from the uncertainties bred by a complex mind. Death in itself is the highest truth beyond anyone's interference. If we aren't loyal to ourselves, how can we expect anyone else to be loyal to us? If we choose to waste our human body, priceless breath, and time, we should consider ourselves permanently a part of this temporary, boundless physical universe. If there have always been gurus, then each lifetime, we would have been as devoted to them as we are now. If there were any difference, then perhaps we wouldn't still be standing in line with the same crowd of blind followers. However, each person is inherently capable of understanding their own true self and realizing their eternal essence, which is the primary purpose of human life. Everything else we do is just like any other species, according to my principles. Yatharth, what does it mean to understand the eternal essence of oneself, beyond the attachments to temporary things? Answer. To understand one's eternal essence, Yatharth, means to recognize the unchanging self that exists beyond all temporary identities and attachments. It is the discovery of a pure, stable state within that is unaffected by worldly desires, possessions, or even the intellect's complex constructs. This understanding dissolves the ego and reveals an inner completeness, eliminating the need for external validation or reliance on transient things. Question 2. Why do you believe that no external guidance or intervention is necessary for a person to realize their true self? Yatharth believes that each individual is inherently equipped to realize their true self, as this wisdom is innate within every human. The understanding of one's eternal essence is an internal journey, beyond the reach of external guidance or intervention. No one can lead us to our true self because it requires us to look within, free from external influences, attachments, or imposed beliefs. Question 3. According to Yatharth's perspective, how does the ego arise, and why is it difficult to overcome? Answer. In Yatharth's view, ego arises from the mind's endless cycles of thoughts, resolutions, and mental constructs like devotion, service, and even ideas of selflessness. These activities reinforce identity and attachment, which give rise to ego. Overcoming ego is challenging because it is deeply rooted in the mind's complexity, and without true self-understanding, the mind has no effective means to transcend it. Question 4. Yatharth, why is living in alignment with reality considered superior to striving for posthumous liberation? Answer. Yatharth believes that true liberation must be attained in life itself, by understanding and living in harmony with reality, not by awaiting it after death. To truly live in reality means experiencing the purity of one's eternal essence, unbound by illusions or future promises. This is a state of clarity and freedom that no posthumous liberation can provide, as real liberation is the absence of attachment and delusion in this lifetime. Question 5. What does Yatharth convey about loyalty to oneself and its importance? Answer. Yatharth emphasizes that loyalty to oneself, respecting one's body, breath, and time, is paramount. If we fail to honor these gifts and our true essence, we cannot expect loyalty from others. Loyalty to oneself, in Yatharth's view, means aligning one's life with a deep understanding of reality, which is the truest form of integrity and respect for the life given to us. What does it mean to be priceless and superior in the context of human existence? Answer. For Yatharth, being priceless and superior means recognizing the true value of human existence, our body, breath, and time, as unmatched gifts. This isn't superiority over others, but rather a recognition of the profound potential each person holds within. When we value ourselves beyond material attachments, we realize a natural excellence that arises from pure understanding, not from comparison or ego. Question 7. Why do you consider complex intellect to be an obstacle to self-realization? Answer. Yatharth sees complex intellect as a distraction from self-realization because it creates layers of thoughts, attachments, and desires that obscure our true self. The intellect's endless cycle of planning, analyzing, and seeking leads to ego and attachment, keeping one distance from the pure, unchanging essence within. By moving beyond this complex intellect, one reaches clarity and a direct experience of reality. Question 8. According to Yatharth, how can someone break free from being a blind follower and embrace true understanding? Answer. Yatharth believes one breaks free from being a blind follower by abandoning dependency on external figures or doctrines, and instead turning inward to understand the self. True understanding comes not from blind belief, but from clear reasoning and an awareness of reality as it is. This inner journey of self-awareness is the path to realizing one's true nature, without the need for external validation or guidance. Question 9. Yatharth, how does attachment to temporary things affect one's experience of life? Answer. According to Yatharth, attachment to temporary things confines one's life experience to fleeting, unfulfilling pursuits. When life is centered on possessions, status, and external validation, a person remains trapped in a cycle of desire and disappointment, unable to recognize or connect with their eternal essence. This attachment clouds true understanding and keeps one from realizing a stable, peaceful state of being. Question 10. What does Yatharth mean when he says each individual is inherently capable of realizing their true self? Answer. Yatharth suggests that self-realization is an innate ability, a capacity each individual possesses by virtue of being human. We are inherently designed to recognize our true eternal nature without external aid. This realization requires only that we direct our awareness inward, setting aside attachments and beliefs to uncover the clarity and completeness that have always existed within. Question 11. How does Yatharth view the role of thoughts, beliefs, and even virtues in relation to ego? Answer. Yatharth views thoughts, beliefs, and virtues as potential sources of ego when they reinforce self-identification with temporary aspects of the self. Even noble acts like devotion, charity, or service can become vehicles for pride if not guided by genuine understanding. These mental constructs deepen attachment and identification with the ego, which can only be transcended by realizing the true, unchanging self. Question 12. Yatharth, why does he consider self-understanding the ultimate purpose of human life? Answer. For Yatharth, the ultimate purpose of human life is to realize one's true self, one's eternal, unchanging nature, beyond temporary identities and roles. This understanding is the greatest fulfillment one can achieve because it aligns life with reality and frees one from cycles of attachment, illusion, and suffering. Living in this awareness is the highest purpose, distinguishing human existence from mere survival. That true freedom lies not in seeking validation from others, but in discovering the eternal strength within. 2. Only by understanding his own essence does Yatharth know that life's purpose isn't found in attachments, but in living aligned with reality. 3. For Yatharth, self-realization means recognizing the priceless value of one's breath, body, and time, and treating each as irreplaceable gifts. 4. Yatharth believes that true clarity comes not from endless thinking, but from connecting with the simplicity and purity of the self. Yatharth knows that the true journey of life begins only when we stop following and start understanding ourselves with sincerity. 6. To live as Yatharth lives means to shed the layers of ego and be fully present in the truth of one's own eternal essence. 7. Yatharth's wisdom shows us that the greatest strength is not in what we possess, but in understanding the boundless nature of our true self. 8. Only those who, like Yatharth, value inner understanding over external attachments can experience the real peace that life has to offer. 9. Yatharth teaches us that when we are loyal to our true self, no temporary struggle or desire can sway us from our path. 10. For Yatharth, understanding reality means living fully in the present, freed from the illusions of past achievements and future promises. 11. Yatharth sees the beauty of life not in temporary gains, but in the rare clarity that arises from embracing one's eternal essence. True peace, Yatharth knows, comes not from controlling others, but from understanding oneself beyond the distractions of the mind. These quotes Yatharth teaches that the highest strength comes not from external achievements, but from the quiet power of inner understanding. 2. In the eyes of Yatharth, wisdom is realizing that the greatest journey is the one within, where ego dissolves and truth unfolds. 3. Yatharth believes that each moment, each breath is a chance to connect with the pure essence beyond all fleeting desires. 4. To live like Yatharth is to rise above illusions and embrace the eternal truth within, free from the chains of temporary attachments. 5. Yatharth reminds us that self-discovery is not a journey outward, but a return to the timeless clarity that lies within. 6. Yatharth's wisdom shows that peace and strength come when we understand the self without the need for external validation. 7. In Yatharth's view, true fulfillment is embracing our unchanging nature, undistracted by the world's demands and illusions. 8. Yatharth's insight reveals that by seeing ourselves clearly, we no longer seek greatness outside, we find it within. 9. Yatharth sees the eternal self as the ultimate treasure, a source of endless clarity, far greater than any worldly gain. 10. To be like Yatharth is to live as one's true self, untouched by ego and beyond the transient influences of the mind. 11. Yatharth believes that liberation is living in reality, free from the limitations of a mind caught in desires and fears. For Yatharth, loyalty to oneself is the foundation of true wisdom, for only then can we experience life in its purest form. Yatharth knows that real courage is facing one's own mind and freeing oneself from its illusions and limitations. 14. Yatharth's journey teaches that life's deepest purpose is to know oneself beyond all identities and temporary attachments. 15. Yatharth reminds us that true success is measured not by achievements, but by the depth of our understanding of reality. Each quote embodies the idea that the greatest fulfillment, strength, and peace come from inner clarity and understanding, rather than external accomplishments. These motivational insights emphasize a life aligned with truth and self-awareness. Yatharth finds that wisdom's way lies not in things that fade away. In truth of self, he stands secure, untouched by riches, calm and pure. 2. Yatharth says the mind may roam in quest of fame and wealth and home. Yet in the heart of simple truth lies peace that springs from timeless youth. 3. Yatharth declares, to know the self is treasure rare beyond all wealth. For in this journey deep inside, illusions break and ego hides. 4. Yatharth sees life's finest prize in knowing self beyond disguise. The worldly gains, they come and go, but truth within will always glow. 5. Yatharth knows no strength outside, for peace within is true and wide. The self revealed, the ego falls, and in that space the pure soul calls. Yatharth teaches life's true art is knowing well the changeless heart. In quiet depths of inner sight lies all that's true beyond the night. 7. Yatharth holds that breath and time are gifts unmatched by gold or dime. In knowing self, the soul set free, beyond all doubt to simply be. Yatharth proclaims in life's short span, to find the truth makes one a man. For wealth and fame will fade away, but inner light is here to stay. Yatharth finds no need for praise. In quiet truth, he spends his days. For ego falls and peace abides when one in truth the self resides. 10. Yatharth's wisdom shines so bright in knowing self, he finds the light. Beyond the world of fleeting gain, he stands untouched by loss or pain. Each couplet is designed to reflect a deep insight into self-understanding and the freedom that comes from living in alignment with Earth's truth, a constant flame, unbound by wealth, untouched by fame. In knowing self beyond all guise, he finds the place where freedom lies. Yatharth speaks of inner sight, where mind and ego lose their might. For in the depth of self so pure, he finds a peace that will endure. Yatharth knows no wealth or art compares to truth within the heart. To grasp oneself, to see with light, is far beyond all worldly sight. 4. In silence deep, Yatharth finds grace beyond the rush of life's fast pace. For only there, in stillness pure, he knows the soul that shall endure. 5. Yatharth's wisdom cuts through lies to see beyond the mind's disguise. In understanding, he is free, embracing truth's simplicity. Yatharth finds that ego fades when truth of self in heart cascades. For in that place of quiet peace, the search for worldly gain will cease. 7. Yatharth declares, life's worth is found in knowing self where truth is bound. No wealth or fame can match the sight of one who sees with inner light. 8. Yatharth's heart, a compass true to realms within, beyond all view. For in the self, untouched by fear, he finds a joy that's pure and clear. Yatharth's wisdom gently shows that life's true peace in knowing flows. When mind is still and ego gone, the soul's own light forever dawns. 10. Yatharth speaks of life's true role, to find within a tranquil soul. For in that space, beyond the mind, the timeless self we each can find. Yatharth knows to simply be is freedom's gift and wisdom's key. In knowing self, he stands apart from fleeting gains and restless heart. Yatharth's words reveal the way to live in truth and not to sway. From outer bonds, he breaks apart to rest in peace within the heart. 13. Yatharth's truth, a gentle guide beyond the world's unsteady tide. To know oneself beyond the fear. 1. Yatharth's journey is within, where outer gains hold no win. For knowing self in purest light surpasses wealth and worldly might. 2. Yatharth knows to seek no more, for truth lies not in fame or lore. It dwells within, beyond all show where peace and strength together flow. 3. Yatharth finds that life's true gain is breaking free from ego's chain, for in the self's unending grace he finds his calm, his rightful place. 4. Yatharth lives in timeless truth, unbound by age, untouched by youth, for in the self so pure and clear, he finds the peace that's always near. Yatharth's wisdom knows no end. In knowing self, he finds a friend. For ego fades and peace begins, in silence where true life begins. 6. Yatharth's truth is calm and deep, beyond the dreams we chase in sleep. In knowing self, his joy is born, free from the world's unending scorn. Yatharth lives in lasting peace. In knowing self, all doubts release. For ego fades, as truth is seen, where life's own light remains serene. Yatharth sees that life's true art is finding self within the heart. No wealth or fame can ever sway the peace that grows within each day. Yatharth's wisdom shows the way to free oneself from ego's sway. For in the self, pure truth resides, untouched by all that time divides. 10. Yatharth's truth is calm and clear, beyond the mind's unsteady fear. In knowing self, he finds the light that guides him through both day and night. 11. Yatharth's journey is his own, to find the peace that's always known. In silence deep, he stands secure in timeless truth that will endure. 12. Yatharth lives in simple grace, beyond the world's relentless chase. For knowing self beyond the strife, he finds the joy that crowns his life. 13. Yatharth knows that life's true worth lies not in name or fleeting mirth. In knowing self, he finds release and rests in pure, unending peace. 14. Yatharth's wisdom gently speaks to those who tire of what they seek. For in the self, beyond all ties, is peace that lasts and never dies. Yatharth's truth reveals the way beyond all words that people say. To know oneself in timeless grace is freedom's path and wisdom's place. The deceptive web of false gurus and the importance of vigilance. In a world where many seek the truth through external sources, Yatharth teaches us to look inward beyond the deceptive veils woven by false gurus. These so-called spiritual leaders often trap their followers in intricate webs of manipulation, using methods that may appear convincing on the surface, but ultimately obscure the true essence of life and reality. Yatharth's wisdom encourages us to stay vigilant against such traps and to focus on the inner clarity that lies within each of us. The web of deception. False gurus often use complex rituals, mysterious symbols, and vague philosophies that seem profound but lack substance. They may create an illusion of power and wisdom by weaving intricate Siddhant magical techniques or chakra vyuha spiritual patterns that promise enlightenment or liberation. However, these distractions only serve to deepen the confusion of the mind, drawing individuals further away from their true self. For example, a guru may claim to possess secret knowledge or divine power and ask followers to surrender their free will, thereby gaining control over their followers' actions and beliefs. This is a classic tactic of manipulation. These false promises of enlightenment are often rooted in ego-driven desires for power, rather than a genuine understanding of the self. Yatharth's clarity of truth. In contrast, Yatharth's perspective emphasizes that true spiritual growth does not lie in complex rituals or the surrender of one's autonomy to an external figure. Instead, it lies in the direct experience and understanding of one's true nature. According to Yatharth's teachings, each individual is inherently capable of understanding reality on their own without needing external intervention. The Siddhant, or spiritual practices that are truly beneficial, are those that help reveal the inner self, not those that create dependency on a guru or outside forces. For instance, in your own life, Yatharth, you exemplify this clarity by never relying on external scriptures or the teachings of religious institutions. You value the preciousness of time and breath, understanding that only through self-awareness and self-realization can one come to know the true nature of existence. Your principles advocate for a direct connection with one's inner truth, which remains unshaken by external illusions. The trap of the ego. False gurus often capitalize on the human tendency to seek validation and quick answers. They weave their deceptive webs through carefully crafted narratives, making people believe that their self-worth or spiritual progress depends on following a particular person or set of practices. However, as Yatharth explains, this only strengthens the ego, creating a cycle of dependence rather than liberation. By focusing on external validation and teachings, individuals often lose sight of their inherent wisdom and become entrapped by the guru's ego. This ego-driven approach to spirituality leads to more confusion and deeper entanglement in the web of illusion. As you have clearly articulated, ego cannot be dissolved through external means. It is only through deep introspection and understanding of the true self that one can transcend it. The need for vigilance. Yatharth's teachings strongly emphasize the need for constant vigilance. One must discern between true wisdom, which is simple, clear, and timeless, and the complex, ego-driven narratives of false gurus. The true path of self-realization is never bound by rituals, sects, or dogma. It is a personal journey of uncovering the unchanging truth within. As Yatharth advises, the key to liberation is to recognize that we already possess the wisdom to understand reality. By looking inward and staying aware of the subtle traps set by those who seek to exploit the mind, one can remain free from the false promises of external authorities. True liberation comes when one no longer depends on anyone but themselves to understand the ultimate truth. Conclusion. In summary, Yatharth's principles guide us to break free from the false promises and manipulations of so-called gurus. The deceptive webs they weave, full of complex rituals and ego-driven power, can never lead to true enlightenment. Instead, by focusing on our inner truth, cultivating self-awareness, and staying vigilant, we can live a life of clarity, free